Okay, so measurement needed for pencil skirt: waist, hip, and length. So our model waist is 26 divided by 4. That's 6.5. And then our hip is 35 divided by 4. That's 8.75. Right?
Yes.
Okay, so the waist, there's going to be a dart at the waist. So 1 inch for dart allowance, and then 1 inch for seam allowance. So for the hip does not have dart, so it's going to be only +1, which is seam allowance. Abi, okay. So at the end of the day, we have so what we need to cut this pattern now, we need waist. After we have done this addition, we have 8.5. Abi, for the hip, after the addition, we have 9.75, and then the length is 24. So 24 plus 2, which is seam allowance. Abi, that's 26. So this is what we need now to cut. Now you should also note that you are going to you are going to fold your paper or fabric with the largest measurement. So looking at this measurement now, 9.75 is the largest. Abi, so the reason why we are folding with the largest measurement is that if your fabric or pattern paper can take the largest measurement, apparently it will take the small ones, right? Abi, if you fold more than what you need, by the time you do your marking, you'll be wasting the fabric or the paper. So now this automatically become our waistline. Abi, so there you mark the waist measurement, 8.5. So like I said the other time, hip line is between 8 inches to 12 inches for adults, depending on the hip measurement of the client or the form. So now because her waist is 35, we're going to use 8 inches for her. So I'm doing this so that we don't have mistake. And then our skirt length is 24, right? Which is this plus the 2 inch seam allowance. You do the same thing here. And then you connect the lines. Okay, so this is our hip line. This is the skirt length, also known as hem. So this is here and here. It's 2 inches seam allowance, right? Okay. So the next thing we do is to connect our. So on the hip line, you measure the hip measurement, which is 9.75. This is the 0.75. This is half. So Let me connect this with the hip hop. So if you're trying to do a straight skirt, so you just take this 9.75 here too. This and this must be the same thing because this is coming back to meet this one. So if you are trying to do, let me draw this with pencil because that's not what we're trying to achieve. So if you are trying to do pencil skirt, I mean straight skirt, this is it. So you will cut um, this now if you are trying to achieve a straight skirt. But because we are trying to achieve a pencil skirt, so at the hip measurement is 9.75. So you come here 9.75. Instead of marking it, you now come in by 1.5 at the hem line. You take it in by 1.5 for it to give you the pencil effect. So if you want the skirt to really be pencil that it's like almost difficult for you to work, you can do 2 inches. But for the purpose of this class, we are going to do 1.5, and then you connect it also with hip hop. Okay. And like I said, this M line and the allowance must be the same thing because it's coming back to meet it, and then you do so. So we are ready to uh almost cut. So there's when I was explaining it, I said there's something called block pattern and then flat pattern. This is our block pattern, Abi, because we have not added that or any other thing to it. This is block pattern. So now to continue, after I draw this, it becomes flat pattern. So there's something called skirt slant. 1 inch. You take this only in front. Do not do it at the back, please. 1 inch at the center front. This is the center front. And then you connect it. If you don't take this 1 inch out, by the time you finish the skirt, it's going to be giving you rumpled effect here. Maroon. So that's all. But for us to add our darts from the center front, because I see some of my students make mistake and then we measure from here. It is from the center front that you measure 4 inches from. So for an adult skirt, the dart is 4 by 4. For somebody who is a plus size, it become 4 by 5. Yeah. Okay. So here now you do ½ inch here and then ½ inch here, and then you connect it to this 4. This must also give you 4. So you connect it like so. And then you have your complete pencil skirt. The front. Now, this and this are called dart legs. So you will transfer the dart leg to the other side so that you don't make mistake when you are trying to transfer it on fabric. So you just notch it and notch it. If you open it, the dart legs are already there too, right? And so this is our pencil skirt front panel. Okay, so we go to the back. Now, I did this on fold because this is your first time of learning how to cut. The next time I'm going to do this, this will not be on fold, it's going to be single, because if I place this on fabric, I'm still going to place it like this. So it's this part is of no use to us. Okay, so I'm going to do that for the back so that you will understand.
Is that it?
When you finish. Okay, so this is the back. So when we were talking about allowances the other time, um some textbook ask us to use 2 inches and some textbook ask us to use 1 inch. If you are trying to do 2 inches for your zip allowance, this is it. This is it. But I prefer to use 1 inch because at the end of the day, that 2 inches is going to give you bulk in your pattern or skirt. Okay, so 1 inch here. And then 1 inch here. Hmm? Okay. And so you just cut. Remember I said do not take this slant out at the back. So this is the end of our pencil skirt. Now there's some pencil skirts that has huge overlap, right?